Well, this old track here was put through in the late 1870s to bring some equipment up here, some mill workings, George, and equipment like that for stamper batteries. Have a look at the civil engineering, 19th century style, the amount of work, pick and shovel, in this absolutely precipitous country. Incredible job of work, and shows the endeavours that the men went to get the gold out of this country. And it also shows how rich this country was. The transport and logistic costs to get it out, it was still worthwhile. Amazing bit of civil engineering. Okay, now we've come to Lone Star Pass itself. Look at this little gap through the rocks. You can see it curves to the left through this sandstone, and the roadbed has been stacked with courses of rocks so that the pack horses can get some traction going up through here. Look at this, this is awesome. Oh, there's some old inscriptions on the rock there, George.
Yes. And a couple of flags.
Wow. This is incredible country up through here. Bring a pack horse through here with all your gear on it, all your survival gear, all your belongings. Look, it keeps continuing up through here, deep in the conglomerates. Now here someone's widened a gap in the track with some logs here. Fantastic bit of history. Look how precipitous this country is. There's George coming up the pass. Can imagine what can be hidden in this place, and there's all these little nooks and crannies, there's caves everywhere. This is Lone Star Reef. We can see where all the quartz has gone. The entire reef has been worked out, and there's a shaft there, and this narrow slot where the old timers have taken all the quartz rock with the gold in it right down through here. We're nearly down to the bottom of the creek line now. Okay, well, this is the purpose of our hike. This is the foundations for the Lone Star boiler and the stamper battery. We're here in this really remote spot. It's taken George and I about an hour and a half to hike in here. The reef line runs up that way up the creek, so all that stone was coming in here, crushed here. The big boiler that was here was removed and onto other areas in the Palmer, as like a lot of this equipment was reused. But look at the workmanship that's been put into this. Big sandstone blocks, you can see the chisel marks in them. All that carved out by those diggers back in the 1870s. It's just amazing. And it's a beautiful little spot, this gully. As you can see, it hasn't burnt for a while. Very green. It's like a real ecosystem on this side of the conglomerates. A bit of drizzle in here now, so it's a fairly wet spot. It's a really picturesque little spot. There's some camps further up. We're going to have a look at those tomorrow. But that was worth the hike to see this whole bit of infrastructure in the absolute middle of nowhere. It's fantastic. I mean, the effort required to get this gear in here worked, and the drag track that we walked down, just amazing. So there we go, that's the Lone Star Boiler Foundation. Well, George and I have just come onto this flat here, do an hour in here before dinner, and head back up to the camp at the Lone Star Pass. There's an old fireplace over there. George has just dug a bullet over there and a button. There's another fireplace there on this flat. As you can imagine, this would be a great place to camp in the gold rush. It'd be a great place to camp now. It's a big flat area with the creeks on both sides. And I just got my first target here, which is an old timer's brass button. I don't think it's branded, it just looks to be plain. But that's awesome. That shows me that there's been plenty of activity here. Fireplaces and all sorts of things, so good potential. George has just called me over. Sounds like he's got a penny. It looks like it's a roundness looking like a penny. Good solid signal there.
I just flicked it out there and it got the penny shape. What do you reckon?
Or a halfpenny.
Oh, maybe Chinese coin, who knows?
Chinese coin, is it?
It is, it is.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it got the hole in it.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
That was like a mid-range signal, was it?
Yeah, no, towards the high one. Pretty high one, yeah, yeah.
Well done, nice.
Yeah,
oh, that just shows you the Chinese diggers are in this area too. Okay, what we've got here is the remains of a Chinese cooking oven on the creek line here. That dates back from the 1870s. So I've just worked my way along here. You might be able to see where the pick is there in the distance. We've got a lot of ceramic and broken glass through here. So they've been here a while. working this creek. And I just got another little Chinese half cash coin. It was a wonderful solid signal, repeatable both directions. 55, 58 on the AT Pro. And another little cast brass coin. Look at that. You beauty. Oh, that's in absolutely fabulous condition. Look at it. That is fantastic. No worries. Okay, well, we'll go low and slow in this area for a little while, see what else we can get out of here. It's day 2 at Lone Star Pass. We've dawned a beautiful morning. Had a bit of drizzle yesterday afternoon when we were detecting on that Chinese campsite, as you saw. Just glorious weather this morning. Nice cool breeze. Blue sky. It'll be warm later on, so we're about to head up on a bit of an adventure hike now. Up to a site called the Dripping Cave, and there's some Aboriginal rock art we're going to have a look at, so it's going to be a fantastic day. Really looking forward to it. There's my guide there, George, making his last minute preparations. He's got his hat on, that's the most important thing. So here we are, second day, we're back at Lone Star Pass. George is just making way through the little slit in the rock and up onto the pack track higher up, onto the top of the escarpment. Okay, we're on the top of the escarpment now. We were on a compass bearing to the other edge where the Dripping Cave is, so just follow George through this low scrub. No track here. Okay, George and I are in some pretty tough country now, fairly overgrown, but on the side of this hillside, this creek's all work for gold. A little benched areas where the miners have been camped. Chinese and European from what we can gather. I just got my first target here, and it's an old timer's brass button from a European shirt, Australian shirt. I don't know if that's branded. It's a 2-hole button, not the usual 4-hole button. But that was a nice signal in amongst the iron here. These little benches where they were sleeping and eating. I'm going to check them all out, see what we can find. George battling their long grass up above this spot, which appears to be the bottle dump for this little encampment, as you can see. All the 19th century bottles broken. I'll have a little look and see if there's any complete ones. Not likely. I'll have a look. Well, George found that the broken bottles on the other side of this big boulder. I'll come around this side and look at this. I've just laid these out. Only one of these bottles are broken. The rest are all completely intact. They're all 1900s bottles. We're going to take a selection. Well, trouble is we've got to carry them back up the hill, George. Take a selection of bottles with us. That's awesome. We'll leave some here for next trip.
It's a shame they're not full.
Yeah, exactly. Right, well, we're going to wrap it up and head back up to camp. Okay, I've made my selection. This little fella's going to come home with me. It's a beautiful old blob top, dark glass, 1800s bottle. We'll leave the rest of them there. They'll still be here next time we come in here. And they must have been safe from the bushfires, protected by this big rock. Although it doesn't burn any much, it's pretty green. Quite a little wet ecosystem on this side of the ridge. So anyway, yeah, that one's going to come back with me. I have to take it back up the hill. But here's my next find. It's a ripper. It's what I call a Paris buckle, a suspender buckle. It's braces. It's 56, 57. And lots of opium scrap around here. Tin scraps off opium tins. A bit of broken bottle and ceramic. So there was a bit of camping went on here. Well, George and I have just come down onto this flat that we hunted yesterday afternoon in the rain, the Chinese camp. I just got a pinfire bullet, which I didn't show. Lovely 80 signal. I've got this magnificent old ring. Definitely 1800s. Look at that thing. It's not silver, it's brass or bronze, I guess. But that's a big chunk of... I wonder if it's hallmarked. That's awesome. It's got maybe a coat of arms or some sort of representative shield on it. That's really heavy. It's a lot of brass or whatever it is. Wow. In this old camp. I guess we're finding Chinese coins here, so I'm not suggesting this is a Chinese ring. It looks European, I guess. Anyway, look, I'll put any information on the subtitle. What a beauty. That just blew my head off. It was a solid 80, 80, 80, both ways, in all directions, with the AT Pro. Well, this is a 65. Got my tail up after finding that gold rush ring. This could be a Chinese coin. They ring low to mid 60s. So let's see what we've got here. Take she's out. You can hear it's discriminating that a bit, it's not so flash. It's high 50s. May not be. Could be a bit of opium tin. I found a few pieces just earlier on. What have we got? Oh, it's pinfire. Pinfire round, hull. The projectile's gone, but there's the pinfire hull. That's the second one I found in here this afternoon. There we go. George and I just spotted something really interesting up in this rock overhang up here. Let's go up and have a look and see what we've got here. Well, 140 years ago this place was covered with prospectors looking for gold, Chinese and Australians and Europeans. But of course Aboriginal people here have been here much longer than that. 40,000 years they've been here. We've just found some wonderful evidence of Aboriginal cave art up here on this outcrop. Let's have a look at this. I mean, this could be 10,000 years old, this little handprint. Let's have a look. Okay, there we are. We can see a handprint. It's not a large handprint actually. Produced, I believe, by just putting your hand there and spraying ochre on it from your mouth. And there's some more really indistinct stuff there. This is very, very old. Like I said, this could be, you know, centuries. This has been here. Incredible. Because I guess it's an important access track for the Aboriginal people heading through the area. Wonderful. Okay, day 3. This is our second expedition to the Dripping Cave. George and I, we had a failed attempt yesterday, trusting a GPS. Today we did it old school with map and compass and we found the access down the cliff line. So we're going to head down this ramp to the lower level. Well, we made it to the Dripping Cave. We've been probably 2 hours in very remote bushland up and down cliff lines. But George has got us here to the cave. We're going to have a bit of an explore around this area now. Beautiful bit of country, very, very remote. Towards the drips in the Dripping Cave, it's running down out of the sandstone and the conglomerate up above into this beautiful little freshwater pool we'll go and have a look at. It's all fern growth all around it and it runs down that creek. Well, here's the Dripping Cave. Look at this awesome freshwater pool. We're going to fill our water bottles here. You won't get any better water than that. It's filtered through the sandstone, all natural. No civilization for hundreds of kilometres. Fantastic. Beautiful little spot. Well, here in the cave there's more evidence of Aboriginal people. This is a very old bit of cave painting. If you can see it there, it's a man. It's quite large. He's about nearly 3 feet tall, probably. There's some indistinct but quite bright patches. There's another man there, look, lying the other way. I hope you can see that on the video. Painted sideways. So many, many years ago, perhaps millennia, some Aboriginal people were up here on this rock shelf. Well, maybe the ground level was a lot higher then. Time just doesn't matter out here. And made those figures on that out of ochre. That one's female there. I can see it's got breasts. And I guess this is the male. Yes, it is. And there's something in between. Another indistinct maybe a fish, probably barramundi. Bits of the sandstone have spalled off though, and it's parts of it are gone. So yeah, there's a big fish. There's a male figure there and a female figure there. So here we are at the dripping cave. What we see here is a little drive that was put in here in the contact zone below the conglomerate layer by the old timers looking for alluvial gold. It goes in about 10 metres, just a horizontal drive. I'm not sure that they would have got too much in there because they didn't do any more work, so maybe it was just an exploratory tunnel. Further up on the hill there was a pit, like a small costeam, where they've been looking for any alluvial layers, because this conglomerate's a beautiful water-worn wash with quartz all through it. But definitely down the gully further there's old workings, but up in here in the dripping cave they had a bit of a cracker here and didn't find anything obviously, and just moved down the creek further. So this is a historic old spot. Pick and shovel work here back in 1874 or 1873 or whenever they were in here. Very old Aboriginal work again. Looks like another female character there, just for scale. There's my hand. This vine's overgrown some of it. That one's indistinct. Some of the rocks spalled away, but look at these ones, they're magnificent. That one on the left's a bit indistinct. Obviously an animal. Looks like a platypus splayed. Just got a bill and a platypus tail. On the right, I'm not sure. Could be a spear. That may have been a human character, but look at that. That's vivid. Ochre drawing. Beautiful. This one here looks to be a crocodile. You can see he's got his bumpy nose there and his teeth. And below it, a kangaroo. You can see the hopping legs. Gee, incredible. That's a really magnificent bit of Aboriginal cave art. Well, we've just headed out on our usual afternoon relic detecting sortie. A bit hot in the middle of the day, so we have a bit of a camp and come back out. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Here along Cradle Creek. Really interesting spot here. Back up there about 300 metres is where we've been finding the Chinese relics and coins. But here is what appears to be several grave sites. We don't know if they're European or Chinese or Australian. Very small grave there, possibly a child unfortunately, and 2 other graves here all in alignment. And there's a 4th grave over on the other side of the track there, which is a bit larger, but they're all just little rock cans. And so I'd say this is, we're guessing it's a Chinese burial area. Given the proximity of the Chinese camp and the amount of Chinese relics we're finding. So went across the creek anyway, over onto that flat. All these higher flats is generally where you find the camps, and there's a good chance there'll be another camp over there. Once we start hitting iron and those opium tin shards, there's a chance of good relics, so we're going to head over there and see what we can find. Well, George and I are just exploring down the creek now. He's just got a couple of buttons over there. I've got a saddle stud. I've got a lovely 62 signal, and this came up. And it's still in the, it's hardly a coin ball, but if I can get that to focus. We've got a Chinese, looks to be a half cash coin. Still sucking the soil. There we go. That'll clean up nicely. Cast brass, looks to be in good nick actually, doesn't it? Sweet. So, another button over there George just got, so we'll spend the next 20 minutes here and persist and see what else we can get. I just got my second Chinese cash coin out of this camp. There it is, shining away in the afternoon sun after nearly 140 years in the ground. What a ripper. That's really well preserved, this dry, sandy, clay sand soil. I'll clean all those up and we'll put up the finds that George and I have made over the last few days on a still photograph with the dates of the emperors and all that sort of thing. Okay, I don't know what's in this clump. It's a 65, so it's a possibility it's another Chinese coin. That's the surface level. I've dug, you see it's quite dry and clumpy. So I'll just break this in half. We'll see where it is. Okay, it's in this piece here. And there it is, it's a lead nugget. Beauty. This shot musket ball, it's a bit misshapen, so it's hit something. George just picked up a nice relic here. What have we got here, George?
It looks like a buckle, very old buckle with some fabric still in place.
Yeah.
Very nice signal, very clear.
I haven't really seen a buckle of that style.
No, it's a new one to me too.
Nice. Well, we're homeward bound today on our way out, and we returned to the spot where we visited on the first day on the way in, and we've been here about 45 minutes. It's been a bit quiet. I came down to this iron infested area and I got a cash coin, which was a really jumpy signal. I must have moved the target a few times because I kept losing it. Anyway, that looks like it's in great nick. That's the mint. There's the emperor. Ripper. Right, I always check your holes. This one is a half cache that was in there with that full cache, probably only an inch from it, horizontally, about 5 inches down. But both these signals are very jumpy. I'm going to suggest these coins are sitting at some sort of weird angle. And I was only getting it one direction, which usually means it's junk, but this certainly isn't. Look at that. Beautiful. I love finding these old historic Chinese relics. What I'm doing here is working the really trashy areas of the AT Pro. I've got my iron audio on 40. I'm down in this really iron infested area. A lot of jumpy signals, but I just managed to pick a very consistent bing bing out of the middle of it, a 65. That's another cash coin. Oh, look at that. Wow, that's quite worn. That's been through a lot of hands. Fantastic. The condition of that thing. Cast brass. Nice. Well, I'll persist in this little area. If you ever find yourself in a Chinese camp seeking these coins, and they're a great bit of history to run around after, it's a lot of fun. Target ADs are all over the place because they're different sizes from different mints, different thicknesses, and therefore different conductivities. And I would suggest different alloys. This one was a 69. I mean, that's a high reading for a little half cache. But there you go. Quite thick compared to that last one I got, which is larger in diameter and a lower reading. By way of example on that conductivity reading, this coin, which is a full cache, only read 62. Whereas that last half cache I got was a 69. As you can see, this is quite thin. All these coins are beautifully preserved. Well drained area, I suppose. Yeah, so anyway, I'll do a big wrap up at the end with all the coins and the emperors and the reign dates so that you can get a gauge of how old these coins are. They're usually done for the 16 and 1700s, so yeah, lovely old bit of history.